moving forward is, again, if we look at, the importance of brand reputation, and the question again becomes, well, how could I still use Facebook? Let's just say my demographics is not there, and based on my business model, I still don't see it's right for me to promote myself on Facebook. Here's a simple and easy way that anybody could use Facebook. I mean, it's very important from a branding perspective when somebody Googles your name, or Googles your company name or your product or your service, that positive things come up about your organization. So the top 10 listings of the search engine could actually be seen as your online resume. So you want to make sure that they're all really good things about your company or your website. So for example, you might have your website URL, your main website listed on page 1 of Google. Then you might also have, for example, if you have a YouTube channel on page 1 of Google. You might have your LinkedIn business page on page 1 of Google. You might have your Twitter profile on page 1 of Google. You might have videos, and a lot of people have been noticing this, more often now that when you do a search in Google, Google often places videos directly into page 1 of Google. And of course, your Facebook business page could also be on page 1 of Google. Now, what this means is every single time you get a new listing on page 1 of Google for your branded term, product, or phrase, you're actually pushing your competition off that first page of real estate, or even any negative publicity, because Google really values these websites and places them high up in the search engine rankings. So, we've been getting a lot of requests from companies that, somebody wrote something bad about them on a forum or a blog, or, a lot of those websites like Complaints Board or ripoffreport.com, they often creep up for some of those, larger companies, and it's hurting and damaging their brand. I mean, if there's one negative listing on page 1 of Google, you've got to ask yourself, what does that mean to your brand, and how is that impacting it, and could that potentially stop somebody from doing business with you? And if the answer is yes, you've got to figure out a way to combat that. And one of the easiest ways to combat that is push that listing or that negative posting off that first page of real estate. I mean, 91% of traffic does not go past page 1 of Google, and 99% of traffic does not go past page 3 of Google. So you want to make sure that you start dominating your market and your branded terms with all the good things that your company does. So, I mean, at the end of the day, if somebody clicks on your Facebook page or your website or your blog or your Twitter posting or your LinkedIn page, it's all good things about your company, and they all have the same, it might list your products, your services, have your logo, your employee size, and links back to your corporate sites. But that's really what you want to have. So, and again, right now, the way a lot of businesses are leveraging these Facebook pages is sort of like these brochure landing pages. It's just a simple page that talks about their company and what they do, and it's just another way of getting a listing. This kind of goes back to when websites were first developed, and people started the whole .com wave, where people started wondering, well, do I even need a website? And the ones that said, fine, let's just try it out, they ended up building themselves a brochure website. It just had, what they did and the list of their services and maybe a phone number. And over time, these websites started to grow, and they started getting more functionality, and now websites are much different today than they were 10 years ago. So this is where Facebook still is at, where it's starting off now as being these brochure landing pages. However, there's still ways you could actually customize these Facebook pages now for your business to actually perform some functionality that you might require. And I'll get into some specific examples of what I mean by that. So again, if you look at Facebook pages, to date there's more than 1.5 million local businesses that have active pages on Facebook. And this ranges from products, from companies, to celebrities, to TV shows. I mean, you could pretty much create a Facebook fan page about anything you want or anyone you want, which kind of leads into the second point, where businesses are afraid to start creating a page on Facebook because they're worried about negative publicity. They don't want to open up this can of worms where everybody could talk about their products and services and have this open discussion. See, here's the real issue is if you don't start this conversation where you've got control of that, that's not going to stop anybody from creating a Facebook fan page about your company that talks bad about you. Or not even a Facebook page. It could be a simple video on YouTube, some images on Flickr, or a posting on a blog or a forum, or even a website dedicated to their bad experiences with your specific organization. So if you don't start this conversation where you've got control of your customers and your clients, you're leaving it open to your competitors or frustrated people to really start to dominate and have an impact on your brand, which is something that you don't want. So if you want to look at how to, develop a Facebook business page for your organization, here are some simple instructions, and you guys will have access to this PowerPoint as well. So you don't have to worry about writing down these URLs, but basically you would go to facebook.com/pages and click on the Create button, and that would walk you step by step on how to create yourself a Facebook business page. Once you input in your information, your contact details, if you have pictures or videos, you can upload there and format it nicely. The next step is really to start inviting your friends and your customers and your clients to your Facebook fan page. Now, this is where your WSI consultant could really come in handy. Because, the reality is, anybody could build a Facebook fan page. That's not the strategy. It's sort of like anybody could build a website, but once you build that website, what do you do with it? How do you get people to it? How do you get people to pick up the phone and call, or how do you get more fans, or how do you get them back to your website? How do you make it go viral? How do you get people talking about your product and your service? And this is where that marketing strategy comes into play, where your WSI consultant could help you determine, based on your business objectives and goals, as to what needs to be done for you to fulfill that requirement. And finally, what you want to do is, once you get people to your fan page and they're subscribing and you get that momentum going, one of the things you want is something called a vanity URL. Because basically, when you first create yourself a Facebook fan page, your web address will look something like facebook.com/pages/?10923. It's some big, long, dynamic URL which doesn't look good, doesn't read well. So especially if you want to put this Facebook fan logo on your website, or you want to put it on your brochures or handouts or direct mail campaigns, you want to make sure that the URL is nice and clean. So the way you would do so is you would go to facebook.com/username, and that will allow you to select a vanity URL for your specific branded name. The only requirement is that you need to have at least 25 fans or 25 subscribers to your fan page before you do so. And of course, if you have a trademarked term, so example, if you're Coca-Cola or IBM or Microsoft, and somebody has taken your branded name and it's trademarked and registered, there's actually a form that you could fill out, and Facebook will help you acquire your actual branded term back. So if you look at, this is another area of how your WSI consultant could really help you, not just create your Facebook fan page as a brochure site so it appears in the organic listings of Google, but actually making your Facebook fan page work for you and have some type of functionality behind it. Because by default, Facebook doesn't allow people to really do this. They have a section where they have wall and information and photos, and a discussion board, and that's pretty much it. However, we could customize Facebook to start doing unique things for us. For example, in this case, there's a tab added here called Store, and it lists all these products, and you could start buying directly from Facebook. So, this could link in right to your shopping cart if you're an e-commerce website, so your secure pages. And if you look at where you start the funnel or engagement now, you're starting them directly from Facebook. They don't have to come to your landing page and read your offer and then click on the buy now and then go through shipping costs and and go through all those normal channels. Now you're starting them starting the conversion cycle directly from Facebook, where they know the brand, they recognize the people, they're hearing positive reviews, they're ready to make the purchase, and they go directly from your Facebook fan page. So you could build your Facebook fan page to really act like a store. Or in other cases, you could actually customize the look and feel of your Facebook fan page to really be like a website. So the same look, feel, and design. So it's no longer these simple, these bland pages on Facebook. We could customize it so it has